Welcome everyone, it's Glacier Guy, Rock the Glacier as always. Did a 24-hour painting challenge, attempted one. Spoiler alert, we did not make it all the way through, but we're going to go over what we did, what our results are, and what are some takeaways. And yeah, we made a nice little slideshow, a little PowerPoint presentation to keep everything organized. So let's get into it. All right, let's see if I can figure out how to get this to work. I have it up there on the top screen. All right. Play. Here we go. July 24-hour painting challenge results by Gray-Shirt Guy. All right. So, hour 0. Here's what we got. We started with 47 Steel Legion infantry models, 48. This one right here was already painted. That was our test model. So what I did is I feel like I needed to do a good workflow. So when I'm doing this many models, I set up a really good workflow that kind of worked with my mind, kind of something that I understood that I could do pretty well. The way the workflow I chose was to paint all of the same kind of model, one after the other, a single color, and then go to the next similar models, paint them all that same color, and kind of work my way through it until I got through all of the gray. And then we're going to move on to the next color, which would be black. So the goal was to hopefully finish them all in 24 hours. I didn't quite get through 24 hours, but we'll show you the progress I made along the way. Hour by hour, I took progress pictures. And yeah, I'll kind of discuss it as we go. Let's move on to the next slide. Now, before I go on to the next slide, the process that I chose does have a bit of a double-edged sword, because if you don't like painting the exact same model over and over again, by the time you get to the third or fourth similar model, it might really kind of like not really jive with you. So in that case, you might want to do batches of 5 different models, or even batches of 10. In this case, it would have been batches of 8, because the heavy weapon team takes up 2 other slots. But you could have started and just did row instead of columns. But I decided by the time I got to the 5th or 6th model that was the same, it was starting to get a little boring, but wasn't really boring. And then by the time it started to get boring or uninteresting, I was on the last model. And so we were moving on to a fresh new sculpt. But let's kind of get into it. All right, so hour 1, not a whole lot done, but we managed to get gray coats on all the sergeants. So we finished all 5 sergeants. And I finished with a minute or 2 to spare before the hour was up. And yeah, moving on over to the next. Hour 2. So with hour 2, I got 5 of the grenade launchers. And I was worrying that I was going to set a precedent where I was only going to get 5 grenade launchers, or 5 models per hour, because I did 5 of the sergeants and now 5 grenade launchers. First models where the gas mask or the goggles are on the eyes, and I thought that was really easy and quick to paint. In the beginning, I was trying not to get the gray on the lenses because the lenses are going to be blue, but after a few models, I was like, oh, I'll just paint the lenses blue over the gray. It's not going to be that big of a deal. It's not going to obscure too much detail, so we kind of went with that. As you can see, my wet palette is just gray, because that's what we're going through. All right, hour 3. We managed to finish all of the 6 grenade launcher dudes, and we took a break. I think I had a snack or some sort of meal, lunchtime or something along those lines. And so we weren't able to get a whole lot done at the hour 3 mark, but we're chugging along. Hour 4, we managed to get 6 additional lasgun folks and started on a different sculpt. So we're making some good progress. Starting to look really nice. I'm really liking the way that these models are looking. I was in high spirits at hour 4. End of hour 5, or top of hour 5, we managed to get 23, because it would have been 24, but the first model's already painted. 23 models to a really good, I mean, look, right now, you throw a wash on this, and from a distance, they're going to look great. But obviously, I still want to pick out more colors and more details for these models to make them like mine. But I think like right now, if you just threw a wash on these, or even as is, they would be great. You could just go and play with them, no problem. But we are going to be doing a lot more with these. All right, moving on to hour 6. This is when we were getting closer and closer. This is where it was really starting to heat up in the house, and then summer was really happening, and storms are coming. So the weather outside at this moment in time started to get really bad. I had to, right around this time, after I took this picture, I had to go outside and secure some lawn furniture and a few other things, so it kind of slowed down production. But I did manage to get a whole nother row of lasgun guys. These guys are kind of crouched over, so it's a little bit easier to get the gray. And we started on this next lasgun, and I really do like when the goggles are like in front of the face, because one, it's less skin I'm gonna have to paint later, less cleanup I'm gonna have to do. But either way, I just like it was much faster. But we got this storm. Let's go take a look at that storm. All right, had a some little thunder clouds creeping in the backyard there. So funny enough, this window is actually in my painting office. So my painting office is actually right here. So it's pretty neat. Little different angles. Some nice. These they were moving quick. Look, I love the colors in the blue and everything. In the low summer sun, and yep, and ominous above us. Shortly after I took this photo, downpour. Luckily, I managed to get inside. Had to juke. There was like a floating spider who was in the way of the door, and I had to run through him. Hopefully I didn't get bit. Got no powers though, no Spider-Man powers. All right, moving on. Hour 8. So I think was there? Hold on, let me go back. Was there an hour 7, or did I skip 7? Hour 6. Yeah. Okay. So around this time, I kind of like ate up a whole hour, and I ended up taking a break. So we get into hour 8. Made a decent amount of progress, as you can see. We got how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6 whole columns knocked out. Moving on, getting these last las guns knocked out. All right, moving on. Let's see what we got. Hour 9. Started to chug along here. Started to get a little slower. Had to get some coffee. Had to get some energy. Had to get some caffeine. At some point, I had chili was a little bit later after this, but we're still making some progress. We got 5 of the 6 of these little gas mask dudes done. They were a little more detailed than I expected. The way the gas mask curled into the little gas breather on the chest thing, like the canister tank. And then at hour 10, we finished gray on all of them. And I was pretty ecstatic getting all the gray done. And honestly, if I would have just stopped right here, except disregarding the sergeant and just been like, throw a wash on these, we're done skis, I think it would have been fine. But we are not gonna settle for just this. We got to keep going. We got blacks we got to do. We got whites for the badge. We got to do white and then black over it again. We got to do blue for the lenses. We got to pick out some other details in solid green. We got to fix the camo pouches, because some of them have backpack pouches. Got to fix those. Got to add some silver details on the guns. We got a few more days / weeks ahead of work ahead of us. But let's keep going. Plus we got those bases. Those bases are going to take us at least a day or two. But let's kind of work through it. All right, so that was hour 10. Working through our process. Hour 11. So hour 11, I hit a brick wall. Basically, once I started painting that black. So I love Abaddon black. Corvus black is really good, but it's not really a black. It's more of a heavy, more of a charcoal gray, more of a darker gray. But I love Abaddon black. And I know that there is supposedly a black contrast paint. I feel like Black Templar, I think. I forget exactly what. I've never used the black contrast paint, but I love Abaddon black. The problem is, compared to Mechanica Standard Gray, the black is very sticky. Would be the word I would use. Very viscous. And it doesn't flow on the paintbrush as well. So when you start getting into the details like this head strap right here, and you're trying not to fuck up the gray, The head strap was a lot harder to get because the backpack's in the way, and so that slowed me down a lot. I was only able to get these backpack straps. These head straps took up a lot of time getting the head straps alone, and then I had to get the gun, and it wasn't an even coat of black, so I ended up having to go back and do a whole nother coat of black on all of these. And I slowed down because if you go back one slide, right here you see that this leg is gray, but none of these legs are gray. I missed the pants at hour 10. I thought I was done with all the gray, and I missed the pants on these guys. And the pants aren't that big and pronounced, but they are there, so I missed them, and I had to go back. And I done the gray, or I started doing the black, and that's when I noticed, oh man, like the pants on 5 of these aren't done. So I had to go back, and that really killed the flow, really killed the mojo. But we kept progressing, and so we finished getting the black, and this is where it's interesting because like doing the black kind of right now makes them look kind of bad. They don't appear good because just like how primary color it is, and like this would have looked really good just stopping here, but we're cooking. We're gonna get there. And we started, and we only got 2 more of these at hour 12, so it's kind of a bummer. Hour 13, this is where I called it. So at hour 13, I managed to only get one of a different. Hold on, so 2 whole rows are done on one side. So I managed to get one of these done, and it's just really slow. The black was just, and like the helmet right here on the helmet on the visor. And at this point, I believe it was like 1:30 in the morning, and I just talked to my wife, and she was going to bed, and she was like, "Are you sure you're gonna stay up?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm chugging along." I was drinking some coffee, but honestly, I was kind of really just like missing hanging out with my wife. Like it was a fun challenge and everything, but I was just like, at this point, once the Abaddon Black started to slow me down, and I really really liked finishing the gray. Once I was spending a lot of time on the black, I was like, because the black, you got to do the boots, you got to do the las gun, you got to do the rebreather box, because I decided I wanted to paint that black, and you have to do the canteen, and you have some buttons you got to do, and the belt buckle, and a strap, and some stuff on the back on some of the models. And then some of them, the paint has chipped off and shown the metal underneath on the camo part, so I would just dab some black there, add another black spot to the camo. But at that point, there was a few factors, plus like I'm drinking coffee and I'm not really feeling like I'm staying awake. So at hour 13, I called it. I said, "All right, cool, I'm good," and closed up shop. And yeah, the challenge ended. Now I ended up going to bed, and I woke up at around 7. And so technically, you still have until like 11:30 before the 24 hours is completely up. But at that point, when I woke up, I was exhausted. I had about 5-ish hours of sleep, and my hand was hurting, not crampy, but it was just like hurting. My elbow was hurting the whole day. Or the elbow started to hurt after about hour 6 or 7. And so let's move on. We did a little bit more work this morning on trying to see if we could pick the speed back up. But unfortunately, we were kind of unable to kind of pick the momentum back up. So final results, we were able to gray base coat 47 models, which was great. And the base coat is at least 2 layers. So we did 1 full layer, and then I went back through in areas that looked like they needed another layer, like the helmet, and like some other areas that weren't going to be dark from the wash. We threw another coat. Black base coats were done on 13 models, and so we still have this chunk here to do, and then these guys, and then these guys, and so I think this one's done right here, but we got a whole bunch to do, and we'll get back to it. But overall, the process was really good. So we got some takeaways, some things to talk about. Number one, the whole process was really fun. I really enjoyed doing the challenge. Even though I didn't get the full 24 hours, only got to 13 hours plus a little bit the next day. I still think it was a good challenge. Now, number 2, I feel that this is best to be done in winter. So it's really hot here in the summer, and it's hot and humid. So having lived out in the desert where it's like mostly hot but not humid, that was fine. But either way, once we started getting the summer, you started getting the high 90s and the hundreds, and your heat index is 111. You kind of really, even with air conditioning going really hard, it's not really an activity that I would want to do again in the summer. So I think that this is really good for a winter activity. And by what I mean by that is I mean batch painting a large or doing a 24-hour challenge is what I'm talking about. So I'm going to be aiming for like November, December, January timeframe when I do this again. I think it's going to work pretty well. Number 3, happy with my progress. I thought maybe when I got to hour 13 and I quit, I was going to be kind of bummed out, but no, I'm jazzed. I want to paint more models. I'm going to wait. I've got some things I got to do, but probably next weekend I'll have some time and I'll work them. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the blacks on the 5 or 6 whatever I have left for that same model row. I'll just do probably like 6 at a time. It's like 6 per day. And I'll just do the blacks on one of those, move them aside. If I feel like I can get 2 rows or 2 columns done, it would be great. Number 4, I feel like I should have started early in the day. So I started at 11:30. I should have started on the top of the hour. It would have made the math a lot easier. But I feel like if I had to start at like 4 or 5 a.m., then by the time the 24 hours rolled around, I would have either been closer or I would have gotten to the 12, 13 hour mark at like 5 or 6 p.m. And then I would have been able to spend more time with the wife and hang out with her. Because if I would have ended the challenge around the same time, it would have been a lot better if I had started earlier in the day. I did have some things I had to do Friday morning, so that's kind of why I pushed it until 11:30. But lesson learned for next time. And then my wife is a champ. So aside from the Midwest Princess hat that she got me here, if you don't know, this is the album for Chappell Roan. Great. I love listening to her music. Some good bops there. But so she... Typically, if I'm in there painting for more than like an hour or 2, she'll come in and she'll want me to go on a walk, or she'll want to hang out with me, watch a movie, or do something. And I'm trying to be in the zone. I'm trying to paint. But she just, she's just, that's why we got married. She wants to hang out with me. And unfortunately, with a painting room, because it's also my work office at this moment in time, can't really fit 2 people in there comfortably, especially it's really hot in there. I don't have the table space. At some point, eventually, I will either convert that whole room into just a painting room, or I'm going to move the painting room somewhere else in the house to where we can both paint right next to each other. That's the ideal state. It would be great if we can do it over here in the master bedroom over here. There's a spot where we can probably put my painting desk and her painting desk, and so we'd be able to paint right next to each other. That would be delightful. That'd be nice. And that might be where we go with that. But we'll just have to see how it all works out. But she kind of came in and she was listening to an audiobook, so we just kind of hung out while I was painting. And around hour, I think it was between hour 7. Well, no, it was right around when the storm started. So hour 6 to probably about hour 9. She was just in there hanging out, just chilling. We were sharing reels back and forth as I was getting painted. So she was a champ. Loved it. She was worried that she was going to distract me and like slow me down, but no, she did a great job. Also, when I went to go to bed, having not done the whole 24 hours, like she's sleeping across the bed. So I come in and I like slowly slide her over and she moves over. But about like 20-30 minutes after I lay down and I was like almost dead asleep, she jumps up and she looks over at me and she's like, "You're supposed to be painting right now." And so I was like, "It's fine. I put a pause, put an end to the challenge. We're good. I got to a good place." And so it was funny. She was like, And she's like, you like your wife? And I was like, I do like my wife. Number 6, I need a new footrest. So the desk I'm sitting at here, this is my gaming filming desk or whatever, has like an integrated footrest in here, and I kind of like the footrest. Unfortunately, so the desk I have, and you'll see it in a little bit. The desk I have is both the ones I'm sitting on right now come from Uline. Once again, none of these are sponsored. This is pretty simple, just 6x4, 6x4, 6x3, 6x3 foot desk over here, and I like the deep 3-foot depth for the screens and everything. But this one's got a little nice footrest in it. That's pretty good height. But my Eaton desk, which is an L, it makes an L right now. It's kind of a L missing one of the parts, but it's got a nice top shelf and everything. It's very well organized. It does not have like an integrated footrest or anything, so I have like a little foam footrest on the ground, and I'm kind of hunched a little bit just because like the way I like the table height at a certain height. I don't want it any lower, and I don't want it any higher. And my feet with my chair, they don't contact the ground perfectly. So I definitely need to find like a firm footrest. But you'll see what I'm talking about. But yeah, so this is me in the position. So this might look like a very unergonomical position to paint in. So like I'm locked in. I'm like down here. My back is as flat as I can be. It's like, when you're going for a deadlift, you want to make sure you got a nice straight back. You don't want to be bending or jerking or anything. I'm locked in. My arms are right here. So my elbow is on the top of the leg, and I'm just going for it. It feels perfectly fine in this position. I don't feel like any strain, and I do get up every once in a while, do a little stretch, work myself up, and I never have any problems. But I would like, this chair is a little older. I would like to get a new Maxnomics chair for the painting table. I do have a new one here, but it's got expenses. You can't. Unfortunately, I don't have infinity monies. So, but I'm locked in and feeling good. The only issue is the elbow. Just right here, and I don't know if this is because of the storm or whatever, but the elbow just got a little sore. But at the very least, I really kind of want a footrest, just to get my feet like a couple inches, like a more firm one, like a block of wood, pretty much would probably work. But yeah, need a new footrest. But yeah, that's and if you see over here, I'm watching got my YouTube, got some Discord going on over here, just vibing, just listening. The model tracker up here is not current. I don't keep it up to date I keep it up to date as I finish models, but I don't keep it up to date every day. But I'm making our way through. All right, so slideshow has been edited by me and my wife. So originally, originally I'm not really good with PowerPoint presentations. My wife loves them. She's crazy with PowerPoint. Like if you ever wanted to learn about PowerPoint, my wife's the person to talk to. But I was like, can you help me with some of these transitions and everything? And she did. And then all of a sudden, I wasn't paying attention. I came back. She used this theme that she found on the internet and changed the entire slideshow to this like cutesy, heart bubbly theme. And I was like, I'll leave that in there for a few slides, but we're not gonna do that. So this art right here is art that she had commissioned from. I don't even know who she had a commission from, but it's so. A long time ago, she's like, "Hey, what's one of your favorite space marines?" And I just sent her a picture of a Mantis Warrior Terminator with the Typhoon missile pods on the back that I thought looked cool. I was like, "Yo, this is a cool space marine." And so she had the art commissioned of me as a Mantis Warrior at a tea party, and she's Sailor Jupiter. Which is very adorable. But I don't have any Mantis Warriors. So I'm looking at my unpainted, unassembled Space Marines I have over there, and I'm going to have to do Mantis Warriors. Also, I have this thing as a giant mural on the wall. Let me see. Let me see if you can, hold on, let me flip over the webcam. Can you see what I'm talking about? Yeah, giant mural over there on the wall. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, a huge mural. So that one, I just like went on Amazon, tapestry or wall mural or whatever. and threw that art on there, and so he'll know Amazon probably has that artwork in it, whatever. And then yeah, it was pretty quick. It within like 24 hours of submitting it, it shipped already. It comes from China, because they're commissioned out through China through Amazon. But it got here pretty quickly, and it's not bad material. So if you really want a tapestry, go for that. Once again, not sponsored. I know I got an Amazon box behind me, but who doesn't have Amazon boxes behind them? But yeah, that's been the 24-hour painting challenge. Hope you guys enjoyed the process. Are you guys doing your own painting challenges? I am probably not going to do another 24-hour one until probably. So I'm either probably going to be in the winter, and more than likely, I probably won't do a 24-hour painting challenge unless my wife is on a road trip or something, because like I like hanging out with her. She's like my best friend. And so I'll probably do a couple 12-hour painting challenges, or 10 or 12-hour just painting sessions throughout the winter. Because after the Steel Legion are done, I'm going on to paint her Sisters of Battle. After the Sisters of Battle are done, I'm doing a whole bunch of terrain, because I have a bunch of 3D printed terrain that I painted like almost 2 years ago at this point. And I have some other ones and some other direct random terrain. So we're going to do a big terrain a thon, airbrush, just paint as much terrain as we pretty much try to paint all the terrain that I have, which is a lot, but not that much. And I have some that I could print some more terrain, but I'm not 100% sure if I can go to. But we're going to do a big terrain blitz, and then probably Praetorian Guard, because the Praetorian Guard is a lot of tanks, and I think that would make the cabinet look a lot nicer. Or we might do some Chaos Space Marines. We might do Praetorian Guard, but every time I finish a unit of Praetorian Guard, I paint 1 or 2 Chaos Space Marines, just kind of keep it fresh. Because at that point, it's because my Steel Legion, if I do it correctly and I'm varnished them correctly, I think I should be able to like take my Steel Legion to tournaments with it, or take it to like games and actually play with it. It's not optimized for any games, but we'll see. And we'll see how Cadians. So I don't want to make a lot of full decisions on my guard until the Guard Codex drops. I know we did get some changes in the balance manual, and I'm not a fan of the artillery changes. I know it's not interactive gameplay, but it's artillery. It's not supposed to be interactive. But anyways, that's been me. It's been Gray Shirt Guy, and I don't really have anything. If you want to support me, hit the like, leave a comment down below. Let me know about your challenges. Also, I have a link to my novel. I self-published through Amazon, KDP, and I self-published a science fiction novel. If you want to check that out, it's pretty cheap. Every once in a while, I put it on sale for free. About once a quarter, randomly. I always forget to do it. I don't have a timer or anything. I just go, I haven't put it up for free this month or this quarter, and so. But it's paperbacks are. I get almost nothing for the sale of the book, but it's available in paperback or Kindle ebook. So, other than that, I hope you guys have a good one, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.